Hi again, Maxine. Sorry about that. I accidentally hit stop on my recording. So it's currently exporting so you can have access to it. All right, as I was doing that, though, it occurred to me that with this complex of a symbol, you really don't need the wave anyway. It's really too much. So I'm actually going to delete this because I just don't think you need to worry about it. And focus on getting this to work for you. Okay. I do want to try a white stroke instead of that light blue and see if it works better. Almost. What if we were to do a slightly heavier stroke? See if that would work. Maybe 1.5. You can also adjust the positioning of the stroke. Gotta be selected when you do this stuff. You can change how it kind of looks. Could also simplify this, which might be a good choice. I kind of like the tilt on down here. Let me try and simplify this for you real quick. Okay, so that's the base part that you had. And then you had the head. Okay, that's my children in the background telling each other to shh. You two, quiet down. Okay, but I like the way you had this tilted. It was cute. Up there, okay. Then you had the kind of ear type pieces. That. Let's put one here. Let's copy and paste so I have a second one. And put that one here. You see those pink marks? Those are helping me align things too, by the way, which is rather helpful. Okay, now I'm going to do the top part. Oops, cancel. Alright, now I need to do that, that, and that. Let's go ahead and do the center part next. The face mask. And I think you tried to do a reflection on that, so I'm going to do that in just a moment. I'll line that up the way I like it. Okay, let's do this part. You need me to talk louder because you want to hear what I'm saying to her? No, I'm mumbling, but she's mostly watching what I'm doing anyway. Let's do a rounded rectangle for this part. I think that's what you did before. Okay. Get this on here. You had this one tilted. And actually, the whole thing's tilted a little bit. So maybe I'll leave that straight and tilt it to match. I just like the tilt. It adds a little character to it. Alright, and I'm not sure what this is, but it does add a nice balance, so I'm putting one in too. Okay, you two do not injure each other, please. Stop. I'm still talking to my students, so behave. Okay, I like that. And then I'm going to do a little reflection. Actually, I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a double line on it. Or maybe I'll just thicken that line. Yeah, I think that's probably a good choice. And I may actually do that on a lot of this stuff. I think it'd add a nice balance for you. Okay. Okay, so you see how the difference is on how I did this? Makes it a little bit easier to manipulate the pieces. Okay, I just think it'll be easier for you as well. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and make this a solid white dot instead. So I'm just going to eliminate the edge altogether. And I'm going to make this one a little bit thicker than everything else. Alright, so you see how it still retains the character of what you were doing. I'm going to add the reflection right here. But it's a little bit easier to manipulate at this stage. So I just made it with objects. That's really all it was. And let me do the reflection. And the reflection I'm going to use a pen tool on. I know it's everyone's least favorite tool when they first get started, but it really is the best tool to master. If you decide to do anything else in Illustrator, this is really one of the easiest ways to manipulate things. It takes time and it takes practice, there's no doubt in my mind about that, but it is a pretty helpful tool once you get it. I'm just going to flip-flop that, remove that. So there's a couple ways you can kind of do this. I'm going to use my Option key so that I can separate the two handles from each other. And this allows me to manipulate it a little bit more easily. So you can kind of see how you can do this. And I don't expect you guys to become experts overnight. It takes time to get all this. But if I can at least get you a head start on your guy, that would be good. Alright, so now I have your basic mask rebuilt. A little bit simpler than how you had it done. Okay, but if you want to use this one, you're very welcome to, or you can use your own. I'm going to send a file back with both of these. Okay. And I don't know if you were planning on doing curved text or not, but since you have a curved object, it might look quite nice if you do the curved text. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Get off that. I'm going to create a circle. And it doesn't need a fill anyway. Okay, it just needs a stroke. Then I'm going to choose text on a path. Okay, it just plugs in blank text for now. Okay. I know we have to go very soon. Go put shoes and socks on. Okay? I know I need to talk louder. Thank you. Go away now. Okay, little guppies. I'm trying to work fast because we do have to get going pretty soon. Alright, I'm not sure what font you're intending, so I'm going to find one that I think would look nice, and you can absolutely change it as you wish. And it's one of my favorites for kids' work, actually, and it's called Big Bottom. And it's a nice kid-friendly font that's super easy to read. It's nice and clean. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm also going to put it in a center mode. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky for people. I don't know if you can see, there's a light blue line here, and there's actually two over here. And you have to move these to get them to line up correctly. Okay, so I have it now centered on the top of the circle. I'm going to go back to character, and I'm going to space this out because you see how the letters are almost touching one another. So I'm going to space this out. And then I'm going to put Scuba School at the bottom here. Alright, so that's one layer of my text done. And then I'm going to make a copy of this, copy paste, so that I can use it for my other layer of text. And it's the exact same size circle. That's why I make the copy, because it makes it easier to work that way. Okay, now on the bottom, I'm going to counteract this kind of fun font with something very clean and professional looking, because I want parents to know that yes, the kids are going to have fun, but I'm also a safe, responsible business owner, and I want the kids to also be safe. Okay, so I'm going to use all caps, and I'm going to change that font to something very simple, very clean. Gil Sans is another one of those that I use all the time. Sweetie, are you ready to go? Okay. Very good. I need to hurry up. All right, I'm going to make that smaller because I don't need it quite that big. I'm going to center it. Oh, already is centered because it was before, and the spacing is still the same. Okay, so now instead of having this at the top of the arch, I want this on the bottom of the arch. So I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to swing it down like that. Okay, and I don't want it on the inside of the circle, I want it on the outside of the circle. So that's when I have to open up my character palette and adjust this. And you'll see how this will send it outside. Now it's a little bit big, so I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit smaller. Okay, now I'm going to take both of these circles and I'm going to align them and see if I like that look. Okay, I'm going to also lift this a little bit further off the circle too. You see how that's lifting it a little bit? Okay. I'm going to take this one and I'm actually going to make it a little bit heavier. I'm going to add a... Did that put it on there? Hang on. I think it did. Yeah, okay, it's adding a stroke to this, but I want it to be just a plain black stroke. Okay, this makes it a little bit heavier, gives it a little more substance, okay? And then these two, well, let me first move them up here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to make a copy of this because I don't want to mess up this if I decide I want it. I'm going to paste it. And because I can either make the text smaller or I can make the mask bigger, either one. Okay. Move that over here. Click preview on. Make sure strokes and effects are turned on. And I'm just going to make that bigger. Alright. And you can see how really this stuff is not hard. It just takes practice to get, you know, everything done correctly. And it really is just a matter of time. Okay, and if you're going to use, whoops, undo that. I would actually put text on a different layer, by the way. You have only one layer working for everything, which is a little bit harder. It's not a huge deal, but it just makes your life a little bit more difficult. So let's just make, I'm going to put everything in black actually, and then you can play with the color as you wish. Okay, you may also want to put like a solid color behind it. I mean, there's all different types of things you can do, but I just want you to see kind of a version that would work for you. And if you look on the Mod 4 discussion forum, there's a bunch of help files in there. I'm sure you've already seen them, but one of them has a mask very much like this. And it shows you how I used one color. I think it was orange, but I used my color guide to get all these different shades of that color. So let's say that I chose this as my orange color. I could click on color guide. Now I have a bunch of different shades, and these shades I can work with in the design. It's still a one color design, which is good for, you know, printing purposes and for, you know, cost effectiveness for my client. But it does give me some variation in how to, you know, add different tones or shades, tints, to get a different look. So it's just something you can think about doing. If you decide not to do that, then I would pick maybe 2 colors for everything. And I would probably put like the face mask in one color and little guppies in that same color. And then everything else I'd put in the secondary color. That's just my first kind of hint to myself to do that. Okay? All right, I'm going to save this, Maxine, and I'm going to send this back to you along with links to these videos. All right, I hope this helps you out. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.